Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Today's video, I'm doing a modeling bench update for December 2019. Just really an update of the channel, what I've been up to in the modeling world for the past month or so, what I built, what kits I purchased, and also some of the upcoming projects. So I'm just going to talk through some of this stuff. As always, any questions, feel free to put them down below and I'm happy to answer them. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some of the projects I've been working on the last few weeks. So what I'm doing is I'm going to switch camera and we can go down to the bench. So we'll see you back down on the other camera. Okay, so I really got three projects to show you guys what I've been working on the last few weeks. Two finished and one I kind of abandoned, kind of shelf project. So the first one is, this box is so big I can barely fit on the camera, but this giant Scud Trumpeter 1/35 scale Scud missile launcher guy thing. It's a great kit. I just lost the mojo on this one, so let me kind of show you where I'm at with it. So I built the Scud missile itself, weathered it, decals. This one's all good to go, fully painted. So I built the actual missile, and I pretty much built the launcher too. So I painted, got the couple of stars on the side. It's got the fore interior. So I got to that far and I kind of gave up on it. It's all we need to do is really just clear coat it and weather this bottom guy and just attach this to this and build the tracks, and I'm pretty much done. I don't know, I just got kind of done with it. Talked about in other videos, my mojo for armor's kind of left me. I'm really into the aircraft, I'm just not enjoying it. Some point in time I'll get through and I'll get it finished. Also got the doors to put on, windows and a few other things. It's 95% there, it's just I kind of just lost it a little bit. So this is built in a midway section, so it's not low and it's not way up high. It's kind of hot, like 45 degrees, so it'll kind of sit like that. It's kind of how it'll look. You can't really see so much, but yeah, the interior is done. So yeah, it's look much better when it's weathered and stuff. But I don't know, I lost the interest in it. Same thing last year. I built a Chieftain in the Berlin ammo camo. I think I got like 90% way there. I got it primed and then just never painted it. So I pulled it out like 6 months later. I pulled it out the cupboard and I painted it and it turned out great. So I'll get back to it. It's, it's an expensive kit. I'm not just going to leave it. But again, so this is a pretty cool. It's a nice kit. For me, I'm just not into the armor stuff right now. So that was the first one. Now, the first thing I completed the past few weeks is this guy. Let's move those out of the way. So this is the Tamiya 1/48 scale F117 Nighthawk. It's completely out of the box, but I did put in a resin Ares cockpit set, which was pretty straightforward to put in. Did have to cut a lot of stuff off the bottom of the cockpit set and also the wheel well to kind of get the two pieces of the sandwich in, get it sandwiched in and no gaps. So I painted this, I built this. As always, with these kits, the color call out is XF1. I think it's flat black the whole way across. I'm not obviously going to paint the whole aircraft flat black. I think I started with NATO black and I just used tons of different other grays, different shades to kind of get that tonal variation. So hopefully pick up with the camera. Exhaust bit down here. I used Alclads. I know it's kind of not fashionable, but I do like the Alclads. I think I started pale burnt metal and then used sepia and jet exhaust to kind of darken it up. One thing with these kits are too, these are so fragile. I actually left, there's like a plastic guard that comes around here. I left it all the way to the very end, so I painted the whole thing and then cut it off. Even then, this is downstairs in my cabinet downstairs. I just brought it up for the camera. I know it's one of the pitot tube at the front broke off already, so that needs to be glued back on. It's very fragile, but this was a great kit. Maybe kind of pick up the variations of color on this on the camera. I kind of do a worn, kind of faded kind of effect. Again, I don't want to just go straight flat black. This kit is great. Goes typical Tamiya, goes together great. Even I recommend it for a beginner, to be honest with you. It's not a lot of parts. The upper and lower part just kind of sandwiched together. The cockpit's pretty plain. Like I said, I put a resin cockpit in, but you know what? You can't really see it in what this kind of scale on these kind of jets. You don't really see the resin cockpit unless you really stare in there. I think you can even see through the glass. So the kit cockpit would probably be fine. Underside, this has a real nice kind of weapons bay, pretty detailed. Again, I went for like, you know, the worn look, and I was pretty happy with that one. So, you know, it's somewhat of an iconic aircraft. Yeah, I really liked it. Really happy with the build, happy it turned out. One thing, build tip with this one too is these tails right here, these are so fragile, these keep snapping off, so I had to just super glue them in position. So another thing is too, I used the kit, being typical Tamiya, the decals are really thick. They went down okay. The only thing is, if you look back on the tail, like this big guy, there's a ton of, like, you can see the carrier paper right here. Didn't look great, but hey, it is what it is. You can go aftermarket, but this was pretty much a straightforward kit for me. You know, it's got a weak build, just kind of get the mojo going. So that was my first kind of one last month I built, and then I moved on to the Kinetic. I have the box with me, but it's the Kinetic Hornet FA-18 A+. So here it is. Now I put it in one of these trumpeter cases. Now I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's this might be the best model I've ever created in my modeling career. I weathered it extensively with oils, maybe over weathered, but you know, these guys get beaten up. The story with this one is we actually saw this earlier this summer. We went to the Oceana over in Virginia Beach. They had an air show back in September, I think it was, or maybe August. And I never realized, but that's kind of home of the Hornet, I guess. So all the displays are pretty much Hornets. The Fighting Omars had this ambush scheme actually flying. They had like 3 or 4 of these flying during the display. It looked cool. I had the decals in my stash. They're aftermarket decals by Furball, I believe it is. I built another Hornet, a Hasegawa one, in a different scheme, and I had these decals left over on the sheet. So love it. Love the kit. The kit was fantastic. I've built the Trumpeter, the Hobby Boss, and now the Kinetic kit, and hands down the Kinetic is the best kit. It just goes together really well. Nice detail, no drama. It's a great. I think if you're looking for a 48 scale Hornet, and this is probably the one to get. Like I say, I heavily weathered it. I painted it in the ambush scheme, as I mentioned, the Fighting Omars. I did use a mask set from Aero Masks. The mask set, the instructions were all over the place. They just weren't that great. The mask itself, I used the same mask before. I used the same brand of mask on a different kit, and they worked great. This one has a lot of bleed, so I typically, almost every line on this I had to go back over, tape it up, and you know, respray it. But let me see if I can kind of. So you can kind of see it a little better. There it is. I just great, beautiful aircraft. Love the scheme. I just love, you know, the weathering. I used like 502 Apatite Lung oils all over it. Weathered up pretty heavily. That's the underside. Used a little bit of the what color is it? Faded dark yellow. I used for the hydraulic kind of stains. Now, because I was so happy how this turned out, I bought the Trumpeter display case. It's the biggest one they do. They're not very expensive, about $16 I think, but this is the biggest one they do, and you know, it only just fits in the case. The nose is touching this side of the wall, and I have to put the horizontal stabilizers all the way down, kind of bent down like that in order to get the lid on the case on. It barely fits, but so that's it there. Let me turn it around so you can kind of see the other side a little bit too. And I'm just so happy with how this turned out. And also I put this one on the ISM, International Scale Modeler. They're a great bunch of guys. They, on every Friday night on YouTube, they do a live show. Look them up. Their International Scale Modeler channel is what it's called. They do a live show. It goes on about 3 or 4 hours every Friday night. It's recorded so you can watch it anytime. And they do a segment where it's Build the Week. So I put a picture of this one up on ISM for Build the Week, and lo and behold, everybody voted and I won. So I won Build the Week. So very happy, just very humbled, people, you know, appreciative, and it really helps in the mojo and me moving on to my next build, confidence wise. You know, again, I've done a lot of building over the last few years, and every time I seem to get a little bit better, and I'm just really happy how this one turned out. So yeah, So this one again. Oh, jeez, just the fuel tank's just dropping off now. The only faux pas on this one, I think I painted the nozzle the wrong color, but hey, exhaust nozzles, but that's not a big deal. So there it is. So that's what I've been building and been up to the last, 6 weeks or so. So now back to me on the camera. So there you go. That's what I've been working on the last few weeks. As I mentioned, the Armor mojo is really kind of gone. Just losing interest in it. I love the kits, some great kits, but I get always all the way through and get to the weathering stage or building tracks, and I just can't do it anymore. I'm just not up for it. It's a hobby, so it's important to do what you enjoy. So for me, I just shelve and put them to the side and move on to the next kit. So I want to build an M1A1 with a bunch of stowage and that kind of stuff, and maybe a Challenger 2 maybe next year. But other than that, I don't really have any interest in any armor at this time. I'll keep a few of them stashed, some nicer kits, and then who knows, one day I might come back to it. But I'm really, an aviation guy. I'm turning out some nice aircraft right now, and that's really what I'm enjoying. So that's kind of my focus. And when you look at some of the kits I've been buying, that's kind of where I'm heading towards, especially as we come into 2020. So let's talk about what I have purchased. The first one I bought is this guy. It's the Great Wall Hobbies 1:144 scale Victor RAF tanker version. The Victor, if you guys don't know, it's one of the V bombers from the 70s and 80s, RAF, British. There was three of them. There was the Valiant, the Victor, and the Vulcan. The Vulcan's probably the most famous one. I've not seen one of these in real life, but being a V bomber and looking at the box art, I thought it was a pretty big kit. So I thought 1:144 it would be a decent size. I built some airliner kits in the past and figured, hey, this might be bigger, if not same size as like an A320 or a 737 Boeing or whatever. I took it out of the box and it's a tiddler. It's tiny. The fuselage is about half the size of, in terms of kind of width, is of like an Airbus A320. It's not a big aircraft at all. I like bigger aircraft. Like I'm very comfortable on the 48 scale or the 32nd scale for the Warbirds, as we spoke about before. This guy is going to be a challenge for me. It's small. It does have fantastic detail. Panel lines are great, very fine. Rivet detail. It's a great kit. Don't get me wrong. It's just not big. I'll build it one day, but for now it will go in the stash. And like I say, I was hoping a little bit bigger, but 1:144 scale. There you go. It'd be nice to make a little diorama maybe with the refueling with like a Buccaneer, like maybe 1/144 Buccaneer or a Tornado or something refueling off it. So that's the first one. Second project, second thing I have to show you is paintbrushes. I got these. These are a couple dollars each. These are the Ammo by MiG. This is size 1, which is AMM 8613, and 30, which is number 8611. One thing I found with painting is you don't need tons of different size brushes. You just need one all-rounder and then one for detail work. So the 30 for detail work, and the 1 is a great size, all-round size, of detailing cockpits and painting 35th scale figures, that kind of stuff. These brushes I bought because I was a couple of dollars short getting like a shipping on one of my other kits I bought. The order was a couple of dollars short of the threshold for like a shipping credit, so I just boosted up by getting a couple of brushes. I got these to try because I've been using these guys for a while, the AK Interactive, the orange handle ones. Now AK Interactive do millions of different types of brushes, and MiG do and stuff, but the orange handle ones in particular, synthetic, just like these ones. And I've had these for, like I said, a couple of years. I've used them, and they have still good at points, and they paint great. They're great for oils and weathering. I highly recommend these, and these are only a couple of bucks each. So the fact that I saw these, I thought I'd give these a whirl as well. I'm not sure exact politics of it, but I know MiG and AK somewhat same company, or it's broke up, or same factory, or whatever it is. I'm not sure, but I know there's some kind of link together. The products are very similar. So I thought I'd get those to try. Again, a couple of bucks each. I'll let you guys know how they work out. I do have some Winsor & Newton Series 7 brushes. Again, a size 30 and a 1. I don't like using those. I'm not using them, to be honest. I'm frightened. They're not cheap, and I'm frightened I'm going to ruin them. So they just sit there in the packaging, and I use the cheap brushes. One day I'll get the courage to bust them out and get going with those. So that's the next one. Then, this is a recent purchase, just arrived last night actually with a mail guy. This guy is a 120mm Verlinden Top Gun pilot bust, Commander-in-Chief set. So, quick history. Those who don't know, Verlinden is was a resin company, pretty much specializing in figures, busts, statues, that kind of stuff. Also, they do the odd kind of cockpit resin set. They do a tank. I think do a couple of armor kind of sets too. But pretty much figures is kind of where their niche is. They were big in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, but they're no longer in business. So if you see these Verlinden stuff and something you like, make sure you pick them up because you may not be able to find them in a couple of years' time. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere too that the molds were kind of destroyed or disposed of, so nobody else can make these again. So why this one? Well, I wanted a Top Gun. Where is it? Oh, I wanted a Top Gun pilot in the corner there, and they were going for $75 on eBay. I'm not paying $75 for a figure. I'm just kind of getting into the figures. I'm not great at hand painting. I just recently want to get into and learn. But $75, that's too much for me for this. But they had this one, which is basically the same Top Gun pilot set, but with the Commander-in-Chief head, which I'm assuming is supposed to be George Bush. Doesn't really look like him, but I'm thinking it's supposed to be George Bush in 2010. So I think after the Gulf War, I think that's when he landed on the aircraft carrier and said it was all over in the Gulf. I think that's kind of what it's depicting. I wanted to build a pilot one. I saw this one on eBay. I made an offer and I got it shipped for about $38. So you basically got the Top Gun pilot set with the heads I had mentioned. So great. So I basically saved half of my money. So I'm going to use the pilot figure. The bonus for that also is because she has a helmet with a visor on, there's no eyes. You have to worry about painting eyes. So for a newbie beginner painter like me, that's great. So it looked really cool. Again, 120 millimeter, which I think is 1/6 scale maybe. So 1/10 scale. I'm not sure what scale, but it's about 10 inches high or whatever. It's a pretty cool little figure. So that's the next thing I bought. Then a couple of weeks ago, I was in a dollar store picking something up for the kids, and while I was there, I went down the craft section. Actually, Dollar Tree was the actual store, and I saw these guys. So it's kind of hard to see because the glare of the camera, but you see that kind of pallets, like plastic pallets, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 6 in a packet, and being Dollar Tree, only $1. So I thought that's a great deal. They're great for for mixing washes or just paint or whatever, and just disposable. 6 for $1 is nothing. So if you guys live in the US and you have a Dollar Tree near you, swing by, and again, it's a good deal. 6 pallets for $1. So next up, something I picked up is this guy right here. It's the late war Messerschmitt Bf 109 K4 32nd scale right here by Trumpeter. So I've never built a 109. I quite fancy doing one. I never built anything Luftwaffe, to be honest with you. I don't think. As I mentioned before, several times in World War II, Warbirds 32nd scale is really what I like. It's a good size. It's easy to work with. Generally, you can do a little bit of scratch building detail. And I saw these kits. These Trumpeter kits, they do tons. They do about 10 or 12 different boxings, pretty much every variant. They don't go for very much money. They're about $25, $30. The detail on them is really nice. Like the panel lines are good. The riveting. I've gone through the box. I've not built one, but it looks like a nice kit. The only letdown is the cockpit. There's not much detail. So what I did was I went online and bought a couple of items, aftermarket pieces. I bought the HGW fabric seatbelt set. I bought the Yahoo Models instrument panel, which is really nice, little dials and stuff. And I bought some Barracuda resin wheels. The resin wheel, this comes with rubber wheels, which I'm not a big fan of, so they do deteriorate over time, especially in the sunlight and stuff. So I bought the resin wheels. So those 3 items alone were about like $30. So with this in the kit, about $60, and with that you can get a really nice detailed and good sized 109. So I'm pretty chuffed with that, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna start that as soon as I can, really. Schemes wise, I picked this variant. I looked, as I mentioned, there's tons of different types of 109s. I picked this one really because the color scheme caught my eye, like the darker color schemes, and this is what I'm going for. This guy right here. The funny thing is, that's the other scheme. It's very similar. This one's slightly greener. The funny thing with this is, again, I'm not a Luftwaffe guy or any much. I don't really know much about 109s. I don't know anything about 109s, but one of the colors that called out is RLM 84. RLM 84, I found out, doesn't exist. It's blank on the color chart. There's no options, and so I dug a little into it, and it turned out because it was late war, they pretty much used whatever paint they had available. So RLM 84 isn't really a real official color. It's kind of somewhat of a what if color, similar to REF Sky, XF 76 and Tamiya, I think. So I'm a member of Flory Models, and I reached out. I sent a message to Andy and Nathan. Nathan runs the Luftwaffe SIG over in the UK. He did some research for me, and so there's a couple of colors out there. But long story short, Vallejo Model Air do an RLM 84, so I ordered one of those, which is a green-blue kind of color. So yeah, so who knows? So that's what I'm going for with the 109. I want to get started. It's going to take probably with holidays and shipping's going to be a lot slower, so it'll probably take 2 or 3 weeks to get my aftermarket stuff. I can't really do too much, without getting the instrument panel and the seat belts for the cockpit, but I might get going on this next couple of weeks over Christmas. I might start the engine and start doing self-assemblies and stuff. So I'm really kind of jazzed for doing this. So that was the next one. And then the final one is, you saw the Kinetic Ambush F18A FA18A Plus I did. That's hard to say. As you know, I love that kit. So hey, guess what? I bought another one. So this one I bought different boxing. I bought the C boxing. This one, they do a few of these, pretty much the same kit, but this particular boxing, the colours were kind of hard to find. So this I picked up on Sprue Brothers on the sale. They had 20% off all kits for Black Friday and the Black Friday weekend, so I picked this one up 20% off, so pretty much covered my shipping, really. I love that kit. That's one of the best kits I've ever made, so I can't wait to build another one. So at some point next year I'll build a C version, and I kind of quite fancy the box art. Well, I think Golden Warriors is what it is. So you kind of see. I think where is it? That guy was probably what I want to do. And then you see there's a couple of aggressive schemes in there too. I think some Swiss Air Force, a bunch of stuff. So again, I love, if you're looking for a Hornet, Kinetic is the way to go right now on 48 scale. I've built Hasegawa. I've tried to build the Hobby Boss, but this is by far the best. Just people claim there's some fit issues and stuff. That kit, I had no fit issues. You just take some time, dry fitting, and just go along. And again, no problems. The nose fit great. The only minor issue I had with that kit was a canopy. I think the front piece didn't fit great, so I had to use a little bit of filler. But that's it, pretty much it. It was a great kit. These are great size too. So I'll probably buy more of these. I might buy a D version as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna try this one. So. The only problem with this one is I opened it up and I have no color chart inside. I have the black and white instructions, and then there's nothing. They forgot to put in the sheet with the like the stencil data and the color schemes and stuff. I'll probably reach out to them, but at the same time, if you go to ScaleMates, all the stuff's online. The instructions are all PDFs or online. You can just look at them on a laptop or iPad. It's not a big deal, but everything else seems to be there. So this was the last one I bought. That was pretty much it. So. That's what I've been purchasing for the past few weeks. Like I say, I got some more kits on the way, a few more Kinetic kits. I'm also waiting for the AMK Tomcat. Pre-ordered that years ago, paid for it last week or a couple of weeks ago. It should be shipping any day. I got lucky with that one because I did pre-order it, and not only, I think they gave you like $10, $15 off the price, and also they gave you that free ordnance set. So that's a really good deal. So it worked out about $60 or $65 shipped. So that should be hopefully be here next week. When I get that, I'll show you guys as well. As soon as I get that, I'll probably bust it open and start going. I'd love the Tomcat, so I can't wait to get going on that one. A little conflicted how I'm going to do it. I kind of like the wings swept back, but it comes with all the flap. You can drop the flaps and that kind of stuff. So maybe better doing the flaps out. It just a Tomcat 48 scale with the wings out is a big beast. I've got the Tamiya A downstairs, and I can't fit in the cabinet. It's huge. So that's what I got coming up. Nothing with the AMK F14 is. I was under the impression because they produced an ordnance set, you get no ordnance with it. There's no weapons with it. But I looked at a couple of reviews online. I looked at the sprues, and you do actually get weapons in the kit. So the kit comes with all the weapons you need. So the ordnance set is really just a bonus to use with other kits and stuff, I guess. So yeah, who knows? So that's with that one. So that's really where I'm at. We talked about what I've been up to, what I purchased. some of the stuff upcoming. So as I mentioned, I think next few days I might get cracking with the 109, see how far I can get without the instrument panel, and then when that comes I can finish it up and get going. I'm really excited about this one. And then that's pretty much it. So, you know, that's really my update for December 2019. I'll check back in about a month. I've done a couple other videos recently. I've done one about my man cave. One thing I forgot to mention, the man cave, is my light. Somebody's asked me about this. This is a Lightcraft. This thing is amazing. It's LED. It's very bright, dim it, but you don't get any shadows. So especially this time of year in the winter when it gets dark early, you can really work here and you get no shadows. It's a great light. It pivots, angle poise. They're pretty expensive in the US. They're about a couple $100, but you can buy them at Amazon.co.uk. So Amazon.co.uk, they ship worldwide, and if you're outside the EU, you don't pay tax, so you save 20% right there. So the 20% you save in tax really offsets the shipping cost. So I think they're about less than $100, maybe around $100 if you get them from the UK. And the great thing about these lights too is they come with 4 different plugs, like adapters. So it comes with it just slot in. So I think it comes with an EU plug, comes with a UK plug, comes with maybe like the Asian plug, and also the US one. So you don't have to worry about any kind of conversion plugs or adapters. You just plug it straight into the US wall at 200 volts or whatever it is. I can't remember, and it works fine. So that's yeah, great purchase if you're looking for light. Again, Lightcraft. If you guys want a link, you can leave me a message. I'm happy to send you a link. But Amazon.co.uk and get open. I think this was open box one. So if you get an open box one too, they come up now and again. You save like another 10-15 pounds. So it's a great deal. So there you go. So again, that's my update. One last thing is, you know, being December, just want to wish everybody a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. And hopefully everybody has plenty of time to do modeling and work on your hobbies. And I'll be back in January. So again, you know, have a good one and see you next time. Thank you. Bye.